What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be going over what you need to go fishing internationally, or if you're just flying from Oklahoma to Florida, Oklahoma to North Carolina, Oklahoma to Texas, wherever you're wanting to fly in the U.S. or out of country, things that you'll need to know in order to do so. You don't have to have this, but I highly recommend it because you won't want to carry a tackle box because it's extra bulky. This backpack, you can't carry your fishing tackle onto the airplane. Anything with like sharp hooks and so on and so forth, terminal tackle, sinkers and stuff like that. You're gonna pack that in a checked baggage suitcase. But I'd still recommend getting this bag. I'm gonna take screenshots of where I ordered it on Amazon. It's Waterproof Outdoor Sports. Made by Iori Bag. Anyway, this bag is really cool. It's got this waterproof pocket right here. Zip it up, and then that'll keep water out of it. You can put your name on here or something. But it has these clips, so you unclamp it like this, and then you unclamp this one, and then you can roll it up so you can change the size of this backpack. And then once you get to wherever you're going, you can store stuff inside of it, like bug spray, terminal tackle. Highly recommended if you want to record, like in Cozumel when I was there. I got a video of recording the fish underwater, and I use my iPhone, and I use these little waterproof neck bags or whatever. Works great. You can still control your phone, make phone calls. Also adds is like you can put your phone in there, you can put a little bit of cash in there or whatever. So I 10 out of 10 recommend these. Don't leave the house without it. Got a couple of them. Another thing I recommend is if you're going anywhere tropical or anywhere around the ocean, and I keep these on, there's a little inside bag, it kind of keeps them protected, an inside pouch, and that's where I leave stuff like this. Another great thing to keep in there is get you a pack of cheap ponchos, because anywhere around the ocean it's gonna rain, whether they say it's going to or not. And then that little pouch in there zips up as well. I also highly recommend one of these. I know it's fanny pack, but when you're out of country, it's like a sport to pickpocket, and thievery is like a sport to them. And so one way of preventing that, keep your phone safe, your money safe, is get you one of these. Get this off Amazon. This is a Etch Power, and this Etch Power, I put my phone in here. Let's see. I don't have my wallet with me, it's inside, but literally, I take my phone, put it in there, passport, put it in there, wallet, put it in there, and then squeeze the air out. And it's a little bit annoying to have to get out money or your phone every time you need it. But what I ended up doing is, like when I was fishing or I was around water, I would zip up these three like Ziploc bag type mechanisms or whatever. Anyway, then you just collapse that on each other, and then it velcros over, so like nobody's stealing that. And then it's set really flat, so I pick my shirt up, put my shirt over it. Nobody can really tell you got it, and you can wear it out in the water, leaving your main backpack up on the beach, or you can wear this on your back too. I just set it close enough where I could see it and keep an eye on it. So this backpack, I think, is like 40 bucks. You can get a smaller one. This is the maximum. I think it's the biggest size that this brand has. I'm trying to look for a size on it, but I'm not seeing one. Anyway, I'll have pictures of it where I ordered it on Amazon and stuff, so that'll probably tell the size. But there's a dimension that for the biggest backpack you're allowed to carry on the airport. Now that we're past this bag, let's get on to some of the other things that you'll need to fish in the ocean. I'm gonna leave this tackle in there because you don't really need it to fish in the ocean, especially if you're fishing from the bank or you're a multi-species angler. That stuff is just kind of, let me see if I got any. Yeah, that stuff isn't really necessary. Now let's go over what you will need that is necessary. You'll need two-piece rods. I know there's a lot of controversy over it, but I use a lot of two-piece rods, and with technology these days, they're really great rods. And they don't have to be expensive. So I'm gonna show you what I would bring and then tell you what's mandatory to bring. This is the SeaTech. It's not a one-piece, or it's not a two-piece, it's a one-piece. But I brought it out here because it has this reel on it, and this is a reel that I take to the ocean with me every time that I go. It's an affordable reel. It's the Penwrath. There's two versions of this reel. If you get the upgraded version, I want to say it's like 80 bucks, but I'll also put pictures of it in this video. I'll put it like somewhere about this time. This is a Penwrath. It's like 45 bucks, and it's hard to find a good fishing reel that you can take to saltwater and not get it messed up. Like if you just buy any old fishing reel and you go fishing in saltwater, you can't do that. It'll mess it up, the salt will. And like I haven't babied this reel or nothing like that. I've put it through some abuse. I'm a little under the weather today. Anyway, affordable rod to pair with this reel. So I think this rod is it's an Ozark Trail grit stick, and it's a 7-foot two-piece. I don't recommend anything shorter than a 7-foot rod because you're going to be fishing in the ocean, and the ocean might be 4 foot deep for 100 yards. Okay, so 7-foot rod, 30 bucks, reel 40 bucks. I wouldn't go any less than this Penwrath, but we're going to get onto some better gear here in a minute. Okay, and then now we'll go to the next rod. If you've got the money, actually, by the time you buy this for another 40 bucks, you could just buy this. This is gonna last you. I've had this reel for like 4 years, and I've had a couple of these grit stick rods for a long time. They'll last you forever too, but you can definitely feel the quality difference when you pick up this pole, which is the Penn Pursuit 4. I have 3 different sizes of the Penn Pursuit 4. It's by far my favorite open face fishing reel, just because it's durability. I've caught 90-pound fish on the Penn Pursuit 4. I've caught giant sheep's head, catfish. I've caught all kinds of giants on this pole. It is tested, and for the money, you can get this for about 100 bucks on Amazon Prime. I'm gonna put it up there as well. But make sure, because they sell this in a one-piece, but this is my travel rod. I've got a Penn, same rod as a one-piece, but for traveling, again, you need 2 pieces. The reason being is because anything over a certain, I think 56 inches, anything over 56 inches makes your checked baggage. You can just set them by the garage. Anything that, sorry about that, UPS or FedEx just showed up. Anyway, where I'm going with that, ADHD, I forgot where I was going with that. Yeah, anything over 56 inches, or 52 inches, I believe, will double the price of checked baggage. And you're already checking 2 bags. That gets them from point A to point B. Okay, so say that your plane has a layover. You don't got to worry about your checked baggage. It's going all the way with you. So once you check that baggage, it's guaranteed on arrival. A good thing is that one time they actually lost this when I was going to North Carolina, and I had like 5 or 6 fishing poles in it, and I had all my fishing reels in my checked baggage suitcase. And if you check something, when you pay for it, you're paying for a guarantee that your property will arrive when you do. And that you'll have your property, especially sporting equipment or clothes, it doesn't matter what it is. And if it isn't a necessity, something that you need, I went out to North Carolina and I went and bought all new fishing poles, because that was the plan off the rip, was I'm going to get there same day, go to the Airbnb, drop off my suitcases, I'm going to take my fishing poles, put my reels back on them, and I'm going to go down to the beach and go fishing. Well, couldn't do that, so I had to go buy all new gear, and then I saved the receipts. It ended up being over like $500 or $600 worth of gear. And in the meantime, the next day or the day after, the airport returned my fishing poles. They actually drove them to me and delivered them to the Airbnb I was staying at. And they paid for all of my new gear. They took them like a month or two, but whatever, it was still cool. They still paid for it all. All right, let's get back to what we were talking about. So yeah, if the airport loses your stuff, more than likely they'll find it, but they will pay for all new gear. I'm gonna cut this old tag off because it doesn't matter. This was from Costa Rica to DFW to Tulsa. Take it off there, and I want to show you guys this. I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put a picture of this on Amazon on there too. And I don't remember the price, so I'm not gonna tell you one. It'll just be on the picture that I'll put up. This is a really cool case. I've got it. I know what notch I can pull it up to. You get a tape measure and you can measure and check the same thing. The 4th notch is to where I can put this in there. If it'll go. There we go. Anyway, so these little clips, the wife really wanted me to TSA lock them, but I never have, and I've never lost my rods. This has never came open. It's never been an issue. These springs are pretty stout. It is a little beat up, so I can tell that they're kind of rough on it, but it protects your rod. So anyway, now I'm going to open it up and I'm going to show you what it's all about. It has a foam cap in the end on both sides. I'll show you how you want to put it together too. So you're going to cut your fishing line, drop that off. I didn't bring a suitcase out here, but we'll get into some suitcase discussion too. We're just not going to do it with the suitcase because this is the main stuff you need. Everybody knows what a suitcase looks like, and you should be able to pick up what I'm putting down. Without me having a suitcase out here, you probably should not be flying in the first place. So you're going to take your rods, and this is the way I do it. I think they say 2 rod maximum, but I always just put how many ever I want in there. And so, okay, I about did it backwards. The side with the handle, you're going to put you're going to just lay it down. You're going to take the side with the handle. You're going to put your rods all the way to the end. Then I'm not going to take this reel off, or I might have to, I don't know yet. Yeah, I'm going to have to. We're just going to do it with one rod. You get the idea. You can stick multiple fishing rods in there. This is the important part. When you go to slide this piece, put this up, and then push it in there. But you want the rods, if you put the rods in this side first, I'll just show you. If I put the rod in this side first, and then I'm trying to slide this piece in, it's gonna catch on the eyes and everything else. If you put it in this side first, all of your guides are protected. And so pay attention to where this little hole is right here. This is really awkward. And then pay attention to where these little holes are, because that's where you're gonna align it. You're gonna put it on just like so. Push it all the way up. Put your pin in, and then you're ready to go. You're ready to go to the airport. It's gonna cost you $45 to get these around the world. And like I said, 7-foot rod, no shorter, you're fishing in the ocean. The next important thing is you can catch a 200-pound fish on 30-pound test braid. 40-pound test if you're, really all you need is 30-pound test. That's gonna get you by on everything. And I recommend Beyond Braid. It gets very few wind knots. I'm not sponsored, not anything. I bought this with my own money. Next thing I recommend is some 30-pound. I'm not brand picky about this fluorocarbon. I believe this was a cheaper one. I don't really remember. And but 30-pound leader line. You're gonna want Top Shot if you're fishing with lures. Let me just show you how to set this up real quick. So we're gonna keep it simple. If you want to know an Alberto knot, which is a cleaner setup, which is where you directly hook this line to your braided line, just YouTube it. They can show you in a matter of minutes. But I'm gonna show you rigs that I like for fishing. Like when you get where you're going, you may not be able to find bait. Go to the grocery store and buy some shrimp. Simple as that. That's how I'm gonna put it. Just go to the grocery store and buy some shrimp. Shrimp will catch everything. If you can't find a bait store, in which, depending on where you're at, like in Costa Rica, they had tackle shops and bait stores, but they didn't sell live bait, they didn't sell cut bait, they didn't sell frozen bait. So I just went to the grocery store and I bought shrimp. But this is the simplest method. It works just as good. It works for fishing with lures or whatever. We're gonna take this fishing pole. I'm gonna put this reel back on my other rod. Like I said, this is my. I'll just put this back in the closet until I go ocean fishing again. This is the rod I normally keep this reel on. This C-Tech rod has lasted me a long time. Probably the lowest quality saltwater gear is better than most of your high-end freshwater gear. We'll put it like that. Okay, so you got your rod, you got your reel, you got your 30-pound test. I picked camo. You can pick whatever braid you want, but I'm also, from personal experience, Beyond Braid, I don't get nearly as many wind knots, and well, I'll show you right here. I've been a Power Pro fan for years and years and years, but I just wanted to try this Beyond Braid, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm a Beyond Braid guy now. I got 0 wind knots, and I was casting long distances against the wind into the ocean, and I got no wind knots. And I've literally spooled up with brand new Power Pro right out of the box. Got wind knots, lost half of my line. Sometimes that braid, it'll tie itself up so bad that you can't, there ain't no fixing it. All right, so you got your line out. You're gonna use your favorite knot. I'm gonna use mine. I'm gonna take this swivel and I'm gonna tie it on here. This is one of the most effective rigs for fishing in the ocean. Cheeto, get out of here, boy. Go play. Come on. You're gonna want 2-ounce weights. That's gonna give you distance. You're gonna take off 3 to 4 foot of line. I just go hold the spool up to my nose, pull it off, out to about there, you know. Anyway, you're gonna tie that on your swivel. Use your favorite knot. Okay, you got your knot on there. we're gonna go ahead and add our sinker on there. Now, if you're fishing with live bait in the or cut bait in the ocean, like small chunks of shrimp or squid or octopus or whatever, if you're not getting bit, reel it back in because your bait's gone. Now you're going to come down, and this is called a double dropper rig or whatever you want to call it, Kentucky rig, some people like to call it. Now I've got this line. I'm going to show you a simpler way. You just grab this line, get a couple inches down from your swivel, grab it, go over. Now you got this loop. Take these fingers, let's do this about 5, 6, 7 times. No less than 5 for sure. And then you're gonna go through there, reach through there, and grab this line, hook it with your tooth, slowly pull. When it gets like that, I like to add a little bit of saliva to keep it from burning. Now you got your first dropper loop. Go down a little bit further, do the same thing. You got your second dropper loop. Now the dropper loop thing, the reason I like it is because, just let me cut this hook off here real quick and I'll show you. This is a bigger hook than I would use. This 50-pound test isn't exactly easy to cut through. This is a really sharp knife too. I'm gonna end up cutting myself. Here we go. Now the reason I like these dropper loops is, like, say you want to change the size of your hook. It's easy to do. You just pinch these two pieces of line together, grab your hook to where it's facing like that, pinch that line down, push it through the front so it should look like that. Pull it down, push the hook back through the loop, pull it, and you have a hook. Now if you did that on the bottom, you'd have 2. So you got 2 pieces of bait in the water. You're fishing 2 different depths. So if you're fishing with bait, that's my favorite technique. Depending upon the area that you're going fishing in, you may look up, if you're wanting to fish with artificials, I would look up what works in that area because it varies from area to area. Costa Rica and Manuel Antonio, we were using a 30-30 shell with the primer punched out and a little bit of tape on it and ice put on it and a little bit of tinsel, and we were catching big tuna. So, you know, fishing lures vary from place to place. Shrimp and squid and octopus, it's gonna run about the same everywhere. You're gonna catch fish on it. Also bloodworms and stuff like that. They got different stuff like that, but if they have live shrimp, I recommend those. If not, if you can't find bait at all or a bait store, go to Walmart or any grocery store and go buy you a bag of frozen shrimp, preferably not cooked, raw shrimp, and then run it, use it for bait. Anyway, so that's how I'd rig that. If I was fishing with a lure and I didn't want to tie an Alberto knot, or didn't know how to tie an Alberto knot, or just want it to be simple and fast and clean, put your swivel on your braid. You're fishing ultra clear water, so line visibility does matter, depending on fish species. Anyway, take your fluorocarbon, tie on 3 feet, and then you've got 3 feet with your lure on there, and that's going to be plenty. That will cover you for most fish. And As for the fishing reels, when I'm traveling with them, you'll have a checked suitcase. You don't have to have a checked suitcase, but if you're going fishing, you're going to need it. I put all of my lures, all of my fishing lures and stuff like that, I put them in the checked suitcase because they got sharp hooks on them, and you're not allowed to have them on the airplane. You're allowed to put them in checked baggage. You can check a gun if you wanted to, depending on where you're going, which country you're going to. Some countries don't allow guns. But anyway, so I put all my tackle into the checked baggage. Best way to do it: my line, all my lures, all my terminal tackle, sinkers, hooks, extra fishing line, everything, checked baggage. Fishing reels, I wrap them up in socks. An important note to remember is, you know, TSA and all them, they're not exactly easy on your stuff. Unwind all your reels, the handles, and let them set like that. So that way you don't get somewhere, if you leave them like this and you get somewhere, they could potentially just pick up your suitcase, throw it on the airplane, or when you land, pick it up out of the airplane and throw it down to the little buggy that hauls them to the terminal or whatever, luggage pickup. So unreel your handles and let them set loosely, so that way they don't get tore up and you have a hard, miserable time when you get there or upon arrival of getting back home. Yeah, that about concludes everything. And like I said, this backpack over here is more or less, when you get there, you don't want to be carrying around a suitcase full of tackle, fishing gear, your knife. You can put a little knife in your checked baggage. Not sponsored or anything. My brother gave me this knife. It's a Sin Cut. It's like 40 bucks. Razor sharp, easily concealable, holds a really good edge, and it's out of your way when you need it out of your way. It's there when you need it. And yeah, I like it a lot, because, you know, when you're down at Costa Rica or Florida or the Bahamas or wherever and you're fishing, like pockets on shorts, they're not that great. Stuff falls out of them. And then you have something like this, you don't want to be digging around there, and you don't want a hard metal knife against your phone and your wallet or other stuff you're trying to protect. And that's it, guys. That's what you need to travel. That's what you need to go catch fish. Now go get it done.